Hello, YouTube viewers. The Sentai microphone screen productions bring you a new podcast from myself called The Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand me. Also, I will try to do my best not to breathe so hard during this audio podcast recording, as well not to cause any audio feedback. Now, let's get to the latest episode of Zyuohger. Now, this episode starts when we last left off of our previous episode. Then the bird zoo man who had the last champ cube, or you had the last champ cube, who had the last champ cube that the others need to get home to Zooland, managed to access his power, trying to save Yamato. Therefore, he became Zoo Orange. Basically, his ranger suit was just to say Yamato's original ranger suit being his ego suit, and he managed to fight. He managed to destroy one of those monsters that kept on reproducing itself. While the others managed to after the other monster who realized that his duplicate brother was destroyed, he retreated, and the others were relieved, and they tried to wanted to catch their breath and meet up with Yamato. Now, meanwhile, back on the lakeshore, Yamato and Ballin was having a heart-to-heart talk, and like, this is the first time you saved me. Like, why? And like, they're saying, I think you just needed some help, that's all. But that's what Baron said. Larry, the gorilla man, was watching their conversation, watching them have their little conversation. A few minutes later, the zoologists were heading back to the shore, and they met with Larry. So anyway, Larry told him that Yamato was okay. He's with Baron, the bird zooman, and touching others did. Well, wait a minute. You know about that bird human who has the last champ cube for us to go home, for us to all go home. Yes, and Larry said I was praying. I was praying. Meanwhile, somewhere on off the shoreline near the beach, and some outdoor kid, it's okay. Baron was treating Yamato's wounds and shit, and basically, it was like so Yamato asked Baron why you want to help the others get home back to Zooland. At the same time, Larry was telling the same thing that Baron was telling Yamato. Turns out, a long time ago, back 20 years ago, back in Zooland, Baron was a guardian who was assigned to guard the link cube in Zooland and shit. And him and Larry were friends, slash researchers, always dreamt about going to the human world. Turns out Yamato was not the first human to accidentally go to Zooland. Turns out a human did accidentally manage to open the link cube for Earth and ended up in Zooland. So basically, Basically, he was badly injured. Baron, kept on hitting, and treated him until he was healthy enough to leave. But the elders of Zooland found out about Baron and the human, and they're like, he's like, we can't let him go, cause if we let him go, he might he might tell other humans how to get to Zooland and shit. So basically, Baron thought that was bullshit. But but the elders of Zooland, the elder of Zooland was like, oh, this is final. So basically, somehow the human managed to escape that night, and while the guards were chasing them, they chased them off the ledge. So basically, the human they were chasing slipped off the edge and fell to his death. Ever since then, Baron turned his back against Zula after the way they treated that human that he helped and stuff. So basically, the reason why he's been keeping the main reason why he's been keeping the cube for the last cube from the others because it's safer for. It's because he didn't want no more. He was ended up like that. That he helped out and shit. So basically, that's why he wants the portal to be closed from Earth, from Zooland and shit. So basically, we get a reason why and shit. So basically, but once again, the Death Aim, that duplicate Death Aim Monster Brothers showed up again. So Selma, Leo, Hitachi, Alma, and Mondo went to go battle the monster. And Yamato was like, I know you had a bad, gave Baron a heart-to-heart speech. I know that you did a bad thing, but it doesn't mean they could still change and shit. So you don't really have to, give them the little heart-to-heart speech. Your people maybe change over the 20 years and shit like that. Blah blah blah. So basically, after Yamato gave Baron his heart speech, he went to go join the others. The others once again showed up on the scene before Yamato. They morphed up, and started to fight the duplicate brother monsters. And Mondo was dealing with the movies while the others went in unleashed the beast ranger force on them and tried to destroy the monsters very quickly. But it was not going so well until Yamato showed up and morphed into his Ranger gorilla form and shit, and they managed to destroy one of them. But they managed to destroy one of the monsters, but the other monster managed to make another duplicate of himself. So basically, they couldn't destroy the monsters one by one. They had to destroy both of the monsters at the same time. So anyway, so basically, the duplicate Death Brothers monster. Turns out they had the ability to fly and shit. So basically, forced them to demorph. Well, everyone was watching him to fight from a distance, and so was Baron. So basically, after Baron had remember Yamato's speech and shit. beach and shit, and he's trying to help them. So Yamato and Baron messed up and took their fight in the sky and together using their eagle eyes of swords. They managed to destroy both of the Death Alien Twin Brothers monsters at the same time. But as usual, Nadia came down and made the monster grow. So basically, Yamato morphed into his royal ranger form, and they summoned all the accusers in form. Why Tosai Deca King, and together they. Altogether they managed to destroy both of the monsters at the same time once again. So basically, they went back. So Yamato took them back to the cave that Baron was staying at, but he was gone. So basically, touch of armor know why Baron won't give us the last, why Baron doesn't want us to give us the last kill, but kill now, because then there's a reason why Baron wants to keep the reason why, or behind Bear's actions now, because he doesn't want anybody else to get hurt and shit when they go to Zooland and shit. So he wants to keep the portal for Earth and Zooland closed. So basically, Larry said, I'm gonna go find Baron, maybe, and also keep on seeing the world and shit. So basically, and Yamato said, yeah, you go do that, but I think that Baron will see Baron again, and this is how the episode ended. So basically, we finally got the reason why the Baron is why he doesn't why he hates Zooland after what they did, even though it was an accident. I think. I don't think the Zoomans didn't want that he to die, so he was just an accident. So basically, I hope that Baron does come to his senses eventually, and help Summer and the others get back home, and he can finally get over what happened in Zooland 20 years ago. So basically, I also hope that Larry will go back home with them as well. But anyway, but overall, this episode was very good. So anyway, this is Sentai Michael signing off. 1,